Satanic Saturday. Oh man, good to see you all. Welcoming everybody in as you are filing in for some fucking mayhem, fun, and absolutely stupid stuff that's going to come out of our mouth. We are here to start the party for you, and we are happy and excited to have you guys with us tonight on the goddamn program. The show where pretty much anything goes. We're going to talk about literally just about everything that there is. And this is the show where you guys get to fucking just go ham with us and all that wonderful stuff. So we appreciate you coming to party with us as we are ready to party with you. And let's have some fun. But before we get into all this madness, we're going to take a quick commercial break to something that is going to be coming your way in the future. Check it out. Yeah, that was your first look at what is going to be hitting the airwaves not too long from now. Human the Hoof Beast new album. Tell them a little bit about that one. And hello, Kyler and Paul. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Well, it's a concept album that I've been recording for, it took me about 10 months to record. And then I finally have an organic drummer on there, which we're still sorting out a little bit in the mixing department. The other songs are being mixed probably as we speak. I think Poor Flavor is being mixed right now. And then we will have Condemned and Consumed. It'll be 8 tracks. A couple of them are short. A couple of them are real fucking long. And it's a concept album. Except for one song is outside the concept, but I had to put that in there. That one song is kind of about a political person that I can stand. So,
Absolutely.
It's a brutal song. It's a fucking brutal song. I think part of the lyrics are forked tongue cunt with rotting stench, belligerent trash, flailing with.
Absolutely. I absolutely fucking love it. And Kyler for the win on this one. He says the longer the better. What exactly are you referring to, sir?
That's what she
Awesome. What's up, Brother Cody? Always a pleasure to see you, sir, having you with us. And yeah, we're going to have some fucking fun. So this is the time where you need to share this out, share it anywhere and everywhere to all of our wonderful addicts that show up every single time. Last night's interview was fantastic. Thank you guys for showing up. And making that really fun. We got a lot more fun interviews coming up on Reapers Underground. But tonight, we're going to let our proverbial hair down and talk about some things that have been kind of like hitting the news in a major way. And one of those, which I don't even need a graphic for because you motherfuckers already know. So last time on the goddamn program, we talked about how the first photo look at the Crow was released. Now, mind you, that was 2 motherfucking weeks ago. And let me tell you, it lit the internet up when they did that. But for the last 3 weeks, it has gotten even bigger. So we have people on both sides going, no, this is shit. This is terrible. This is horrible, blah, blah, blah. And then people on the other side going, why are they crying about this shit? That movie's not even relevant anymore. So, you know, y'all should just like shut up and give the new one, you know, a chance and blah, blah, blah. So just yesterday, they released the trailer for it. And to be perfectly honest with you, it was a suck fest. It didn't change my opinion one iota. It has nothing to do with the actors, actresses, or anything like that. Just there's nothing about it that even remotely resembles the storyline from the original Crow, other than the death, like the death of both of them. And in some ways, it doesn't even make sense. So, I don't know. Have you seen anything on Instagram? Because I mean, I've seen a lot there too. It's just kind of sporadic here and there, but on Facebook, people are super passionate about this. And I just keep saying the same fucking thing. Y'all made a completely different movie, should have changed the character name. And yeah, that probably would have worked better. But using the Eric Draven character, you had to stick to the source material. So all of you out there, nice. So Cody says, and we all knew he was going to have a shit rap influence, even though Ozzy is in it, it's still rap. Because the song that they used is the track for I can't even fucking stand the guy, so that's why I can't think of his Post Malone. Post Malone's song that had Ozzy in the chorus. I mean, Ozzy sounds really good, but it's like it's rap though, and it's just cheesy, man. It doesn't. When we think of one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, you know what I mean? It's too tough. It's just too tough. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I gave it an honest to goodness shot by seeing the trailer. So I urge you, I know I'm telling you how much I hate it, but I'm urging you to go watch this trailer, go check it out, and then make your official opinion. So it's on YouTube. It's not fucking hard to find. Go do it and then make your opinion based off of that. Because I feel like we have to at least give it a shot, even though we already know it kind of looks like shit. Because I don't know, the original is just darker. It's darker all the way around. Let's see here. Kyler says new Crow just says woke wannabe Suicide Squad. Yeah, I can definitely concur with that. Hey, Mousepong. It's time for us to make you laugh since you've had a difficult week. So I'm glad you were able to make it. Fantastic. So I don't even want to waste another second talking about the schmo. I mean the Crow. So let's get to the official goddamn list for tonight. All right. So the first item we got up is something kind of near and dear, I think, to almost every single addict in ourselves childhood at some point or another. This show has impacted your youth in the early goings. You probably learned how to count, do the alphabet, all that stuff. And of course, I'm talking about Sesame Street. Yes. Who would have thought that Sesame Street would have landed on the goddamn program? But I came across something earlier this week that I was like, oh shit, wow, mind blown, and I actually remember it, which is kind of funny. So there was an episode back in 1976 that horrified parents so much to the end of making it disappear. They said, take it off the air. Do not air this episode ever again. Blah, blah, blah. So goes the song. What? Kyler. He goes, one nipple, ha ha ha. Two nipples, ha ha ha. Well, I mean, since you brought it up, you did it, you warranted it, so it happened. Anyway, so after seeing this, I want to get everyone's reaction. I want to get Hoofbeast's reaction, everybody out in the comment section. Do you agree that this episode should not have ever aired? A Sesame Street episode in 1976 scared children so much that their parents were calling the authorities to get it off the air. The episode was never shown again. Now, my first reaction to this was A, it made me laugh like a motherfucker. B, it is like 5,000 times more demonic than the Teletubbies combined. So, do you think that this would scare children of today? I don't think so. My initial thought is we're talking about kids that are in love with things like Five Nights at Freddy's and all kinds of like weird stuff. I forget. There's another horror like animal video game that all these kids just love. So let's get some reactions. What is your gut reaction there, brother?
I'm calling absolute bullshit on that photograph because Elmo did not come into existence until way after 1976. My sisters are 7 and 9 years younger than me, so I got to watch Elmo for years, and my mom babysat children. I mean, not Elmo, Sesame Street. I got
babysat Elmo. That must have been fun.
And Elmo, I don't think Elmo came out until like the late 80s or early 90s. So I'm calling bullshit on that right there because I know for a fact in 1976 there was no Elmo.
I know that also. I just wanted to see if you were going to be able to spot that. And I wanted to see fucking Kyler. He says, wrong kind of nipples. So sorry, sir. But we had to. And then Kyler goes, I think this episode should be aired now. Honestly, I would have to agree. If they were test marketing to get people's reactions for this, what genius would that be for them to try to do something like this in today's world? You know what I mean? To try to see if it would be one of the most sought after episodes of Sesame Street ever. You know what I mean? But they did do something similar, but you're right. Elmo was not involved. They used to do a thing in the 70s, if you remember, where they would put human mouths on some of the puppets. But some of the eyeballs were just so dark and so demonic. I'm like, I don't remember it being quite like that. But the teeth part always got me. They would do it. It was almost like a bad, like maybe one of the people in the booth were like taking shrooms or acid or something, and just thought, what would it be like to show real mouths on some of the puppets? I know they did that, but yeah, Elmo was not a part of that. But they also didn't do that much afterwards, so maybe parents kind of went after that. I think it would be great for them to show that today, because I think kids would be like, "Oh, fucking Sesame Street rocks." Let's see. So hey, Reese Bowling, welcome. Joining us for the first time. Fantastic. We are most definitely having another wicked night indeed, as we hope you do as well. So, out there in the comment section, guys, in Morgrot universe, let us know what you think. Do you think that that would fly today? And get your thoughts on it. Like, would you show your kids that? I know I would. Holy shit balls, it's Achilles. What's up? Haven't seen you in a minute, brother. Glad to have you with us.
Achilles.
Now it's a true party. Only person missing is Babylon. I'm sure he'll join us with some red wine and some serious gummies for the evening.
Yeah, I'm flying sober tonight. I don't have anything. I have too much stuff to do. But like my room here, my studio is loaded with boxes. I have almost all my CDs boxed up. As my house is on the market Monday, and I'm heading to Omaha, and I'll be hanging out with Reaper in the flesh every week.
We're going to be taking over the world. Get us two together. There's no stopping us. That's just the way it's going to be. I fucking love this. All right. So apparently, Mousebong says Beast looks fucking adorable with his little hat.
This is my Morbid Angel hat, which I will be wearing.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And on Monday, because what are we doing on Monday, Reaper?
We are officially going to give our official review of the new Ultimus record. It is out, and it is a piece of fucking dark beauty. I absolutely love it. Can't wait to talk about that on Tracks of the Damned this Monday night. So if you are a fan of Ultimus, Morbid Angel, motherfucking Mayhem, definitely we want to get your thoughts on this record as we go through it with you. That's for damn sure. Kyler says Sesame Street does have a banned episode. It's a Wizard of Oz episode. I take it that you probably just Googled that. And that's cool, because that lets us know. I kind of figured there was probably something that was maybe a little too trippy for parents back in 1976 when I was born. So that doesn't surprise me, especially how conservative it kind of was back then. Although the 70s was like, heading towards excess and all things, kind of far out. So I'm like, I don't know why this was a shocker that it would, come into pop culture. But I'm going to have to look for that. Maybe somebody's got it somewhere on YouTube, and we'll have to check it out next time. Hell yeah. All right. What do we have next on the list? So we're always talking about summer fashion. And the thing that came across my my Facebook feed this week had me fucking dying. So there's always basically the right person to be doing the wrong thing. And I don't mean the right person as in like they look good in this. It's the wrong person in the wrong outfit, but it's the right person because, man, it's going to leave you in stitches. So people are always trying to see how far, how short they can wear shit. Would you all agree out there in the Morgrot universe? There are just some folks walking around in shit that just makes no sense whatsoever, and certain things are hanging out in certain places that should not. It's the type of shit you would like put your hand over your kid's eyes so they wouldn't vomit. Well, apparently somebody out there has created a new fashion that if you like to wear jeans, but it's too hot to wear jeans, that you're able to ventilate somehow or have, like a built-in AC unit in your pants. There's something new, and I want to get everyone's opinion, Hoofbeast, as well as the Morgrot universe. What do we think of the wonderful wild world of the shants? Oh my goodness, every time I see this, I just die laughing. When it's too cold for shorts, but too hot for pants, get yourself a pair of shants. Now that I've officially blinded everybody, let's start to get the reactions and go.
Oh, all I can say is, bless your little heart, cowgirl.
Oh, is it a girl or is it a man? That's the question. I can't decide. I can't figure that out. But what a marketing what a great marketing tag, like a little jingle. When it's too cold for shorts, but too hot for pants, get yourself a pair of shants. Somebody somewhere thought that this was fashionable. I'm so sorry if I have blinded everybody in the Morgrot universe, and of course the comments could not be funnier. So Paul says, hell no. That was my first reaction as well. Mousebong says, oh, hell yeah, I want some chaps. Kyler says, what the fuck? Right? That was also, and oh, yes, you caught that very well, Cody. He says, of course it's at a Walmart, because if you want the latest fashion tips, go to Walmart at like 12 in the fucking morning. And now all of a sudden, Paul is just dying and puking at the same time. Achilles, obviously, we have busted his gut. Mousebong is also dying and says, I want some nasty ass chaps with holes and shit. Well, if you've learned anything from this photo, you literally can turn any pair of jeans into this kind of disgust. I mean, I figure, if it's on a person that it actually complements their figure, maybe they could get away with it. We've seen crazier shit on some of these pop stars over the years, always trying to push the envelope on the Grammys and shit like that. So I don't know, maybe.
All kinds of people could rock that.
But you gotta admit though, it's always going to be the wrong person that does it.
Oh yeah, it's like leggings today. Everybody is wearing leggings, and leggings should also be called TMI.
I mean, if you're not getting hit with a moose knuckle that you don't want to see, or it's a 500-pound ass that is so disproportionate it ends up looking like a bowl of mashed potatoes. It was made for, I don't know. There's no real weight limit to it because obviously they're stretchy pants. But there's just some folks, it's like watching a fucking water buffalo walking by and it's just going and then they got the fucking sandals on, them slappers, just slapping away, and it's just like, come on, man. Have some dignity to yourself.
Yeah, like where I live in Greenwood, South Carolina, it's country. It's country here. There is no fucking art here at all. So people have no taste. And they don't even use, it's so bad here, they don't even use the word tacky anymore. People just it's that fucking bad. And I know that those pants would get into the hands of the wrong ass.
It's not like I'm saying, don't be free to be yourself. Sometimes, just wear it around the house. You never know who's like just ate. Before they walked up on you, I mean, that would be like me walking around in a pair of these things. You don't want to see that. Well, maybe some people do. No, let's not. I'm not going there. Oh, shit. So Mousebong says, right. I remember Christina Aguilera making a video with leather chaps, and I wondered, why was I turned on? She's like, easy access. I mean, functionality wise, that is probably the silver lining.
I like Long is headed with that. That's
Mousebong continues to say, spandex is a privilege, not a right.
Ever since Mousebong used the term lady boner last week, I have thought that term probably about 80 times this week.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's true. Cody goes on to say, slap sandals and make a seismograph go off with each step. Timber. Right. Wait a minute. Mousebong says, no, we want to see that. No, you don't. You don't want to see me walking around in spandex. Okay. If I was able to rock spandex, I would have been the 6th member of Iron Maiden. Yeah. So Kyler says, don't you dare give me that image in my head. You wearing that monstrosity, I think is what you were. Yeah, that's what you were trying to say. Yeah, no. I don't want to back that thing up. I don't want to, have a little beeper that goes off going, meh, meh, meh. I mean, that would be just downright terrifying. Oh, Mousebong says, I will always call out a lady boner alert. I love it. Wait a minute. Reaper says, oh my God, never mind. That was the first word I saw. Cody says, Reaper, I'll wear spandex if you will. Hey, we could be like the spandex twins, man. We could rock that shit, and everybody would throw, rotten tomatoes at us. It'd be great. The parents could go, look, we're at the fucking circus. Oh, I think we literally killed everybody in the attic section. And apparently my cats are fighting so viciously that Salem just keeps hissing. Okay. So do you guys remember a couple weeks back when we did, you might be a Satanist if you do this? I found a couple that I was just like, damn, I wish I had it for that bit. And these two are absolutely phenomenal. So there is a photo I found, and this was just in my feed. I wasn't looking for it or nothing, just popped up. They must hear me say, oh, my Satan, or thanks, Satan, or this or that, probably 20,000 times a day. So all this shit starts popping up in my feed, right? Because, they're listening. You give them microphone access, they're listening to you. Well, anyways, so Another way you might be able to know that you're a Satanist is when you happen to be, an ocean lover and you love sharks. But finally, you find some real proof that Leviathan does exist. Tell me you don't see it.
Cool.
The Dark Lord lives in the abyss of the ocean. That is correct, sir. Literally, if there were like just pinholes and where each of the eyes would be, looking at this shark, it looks like a demon from below. You can't unsee it, and that's kind of the best part. Lots of comments there. Wait a minute. What the hell happened here? So Cody is still dying, and Mousebong says, horny hours. What the fuck? And then goes, wait a minute. Sharks, that's for real my biggest fear. Oh, I'm so sorry. I might have just fucked you up with that one then. I got rid of it. Because we got I am deathly afraid. Fuck that. Stop. Okay. So it is gone. Hopefully you'll be able to unsee that. But I just thought it was so hilarious that merely looking at a shark upside down, it looks like the Dark Lord. So I apologize if I have traumatized anybody with that one. But damn, that was so weird. And how many times do you find yourself trying to do one of these? Is it okay if I come over and do this? Literally me every day. Like, I don't know. Oh, I'm so sorry. Mousebong says, no, that's going to be in my nightmares forever. No. Picture Bert and Ernie on it. Maybe that'll help. Or Big Bird. Think about Big Bird. There we go. She goes, ha, that's me putting on records for my house guests. Right? Always have a hood on, ready to go at any dark moment. She goes, can I do this? Hey, if that floats your boat, go for it. I'm always down for some chanting. Killer. What was you going to say?
About 9 years ago, I lived in Thailand, and I started Sea Shepherd dive in Thailand, and I went around the country on my time off because I'm a dive master, and I took a course on ecologically sound coral propagation to rehabilitate the reef. So I basically spent every fall break, every winter, and I would drive around Thailand and then teach the Thai Marine Park marine biologists, and we'd go diving and propagate coral. I'd teach them how to do that stuff. So I love that. But I love seeing sharks whenever I was diving. The only ones I never wanted to see were great whites. I had no interest in seeing a great white or a tiger shark or a bull shark. I was okay with all the others. I always had like double daggers ready to go, but I know they'd be really fast. But and they were beveled on both sides, so I'd be ready to at least defend myself. But sharks are so afraid of humans unless you chum that area. They're afraid, like they move away. Like it's really hard these days to come across a shark. But whoever captured that photograph, I hope it's not Photoshop. That was outstanding.
It looked pretty legit to me. I did check the source, so it was accredited because obviously it appeared real enough to a lot of our members in the comment section. So again, sorry for that, but I was just like, how cool is that? I absolutely love sharks myself, but the only way I will check them out is at the zoo in Omaha. That is it. Don't put me in a tank, a cage, nothing. Sorry. Not my bag. Only because I have a drowning fear. And it's not a good one. So my hat's off to you, brother. I could not do that. Um,
I always had my head shaved because I had my hair not near as long as it is now, but I would
right.
die. I always had to work with my hands, so my head would be forward because I'm looking down, working with coral underwater, and my fucking hair would get all in my face. Even if I tied it back, it would come out because of the fucking masters or jumping in the water and whatnot, and it would come out, and that hair would tickle my nose and my cheekbones, and I was just like, I shaved my head bald for all 3 years that I was there. As soon as I
No,
knew,
that makes sense.
as soon as I knew we were leaving, I started growing my hair out, and I haven't cut my hair. Well, I just had about 5 inches lopped off about 3 weeks ago, but I have no intentions of having short hair again, especially not playing metal with Anchorman here. Bald metal and long is fucking metal. Anchorman or bro is not fucking metal.
Did you hear that, Morgrout Universe? If you're an anchor man or anchor woman, you are not metal.
Well, they can still be metal, but their hair does not go along with it.
Right. Achilles concurs here. Sharks have more to fear from humans than we do of them. It is a lot of stupidity that I think that does cause them to do some of the things that they do, even the more aggressive ones. If climates are changing and food sources are disappearing, i.e., if we are taking away a lot of what they like to eat, they're going to look for other sources. We've seen this in pretty much any sharkmentary, especially on Shark Week. Although some of Shark Week has been kind of misrepresented, but a lot of the really good sharkumentaries, it makes sense why they're becoming more aggressive, while they're coming closer, to the beach than they normally would, and that's why there's so many more attacks. Not to mention, I mean, if you're boogie boarding, you look like a sea lion, and they want that. Hence the reason you don't catch Reaper here in all my glory doing any of that or surfing. So, yeah. I mean, my hat's off to anybody that wants to, dive with sharks. It's not my thing.
Well, another aspect of that is so when they're fucking up the coral reefs, and in Thailand, tourism is a big deal. So,
right.
Dumbass divers go down and they walk upon the coral. They think it's trees or they think it's flexible, and you break them off. And then the fishermen are even worse. Thai people don't want to fucking admit it, but the fucking fishermen, I've fucking been out there and seen it. They use drag nets right over the coral reef. And after 30-something years of dragging nets over the coral reefs because they're fucking ignorant dumbasses, they have taken away the homes for little fish. So the eco cycle, the food chain, has been badly disrupted because the little itty bitties can't hide down in the coral. They're struggling to survive. So the medium fish that want to eat itty bitties are hurting. And then the pelagic fish that always cruise by and are not territorial to a coral reef, don't live on that coral reef. They don't have the medium fish in the same amount to go and eat. And so
right.
Just learning about how that food chain has changed because of us. Not to mention the coral bleaching. Like in April is when it's really hot in Thailand, super, super hot. And the water is often up to 83, 84 degrees. And that's what's bleaching it. They have Thai fishermen that go out. They go out for like weeks and fish, and they are getting sunburned, even though they're really, really dark from all of the sun exposure over the years, because now the ozone hole, depending on where it's moving in the southern hemisphere, sometimes it's over Thailand, and these dudes are getting fucking fried because of that stuff. And that is also contributing to the heat level in the ocean going up at times.
Yeah, absolutely. If we are changing their environment that they're used to, it's like anything else, they have to adapt. And by adapting, it causes them to do things they wouldn't normally do. So, absolutely. Oh, this is an interesting fact right here. They just discovered 4 new species of octopus off the coast of Costa Rica. Now that's interesting. We're getting closer and closer to Cthulhu every day. I love it. All right. Wow. See, we're dropping some knowledge on you here. And I said at the beginning of the program, you wouldn't learn anything. Specifically, if in fact there was, like Kyler said earlier, that there is a banned episode of Sesame Street, I kind of really wish there would have been this back in the day. How cool would that have been? The beloved Berenstain Bears. We all remember those books from, grade school. Imagine if that got passed around. I would have loved it, personally. Oh, I love it. So Mousebonk says, dude, I love this program. We go from metal to horny to science to fiction. I told you, it's the show where anything goes.
Now, I know Mousebonk does what she wants, but she can go back to horny now.
Oh, goodness. So, and this one is courtesy of Brother Hoofbeast and is definitely one of my all-time favorites. So, you know how, we're all about the blasphemy here, especially on this show. That, they always say that God is a peace-loving God and just so wonderful, so full of love, so cuddly bear, but damn it, he's got a problem with drummers.
Take just a moment.
It's talk amongst yourselves. We're going to take a moment while our drummer gets carted off into a fucking ambulance because the crucifix just fucking smashed him. What the utter fuck? What does that tell you about those peace-loving harmony folks? Oh my goodness. First of all, Mousebonk says I never leave horny. Secondly, sorry, not sorry. Thirdly, laughing her ass off, poor guy. And you hit it on the button right there. Our God is an awesome God.
I have people in South Carolina trying to save me all of the time. And
oh man, it gets so exhausting, doesn't it?
I keep my composure, and the main thing that I say is now you need to be giving God credit for the good and the bad. If you can't just give God the credit for all the good. So when we have a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old who has cancer, give God all the glory for all the unanswered prayers and for this disease that must have been God sent because God did nothing about it on a little innocent child. I mean, there's so many things. I'll bring up Hitler and where was God for that? And let's give God the credit that's due. And they usually, I don't say it that well. I'll say, well, there's a lot of horrible things, such as children who are suffering with leukemia or cancer. What we do to animals. Like there's all kinds of horrible fucking things that happen around the world. And where?
Just a fucking atrocities, man.
And
But
and,
yet, have faith. Have faith that all things in time, maybe not your lifetime, but maybe 100 years in the fucking future, suddenly everything will be fine.
And they always have some bullshit trite comeback, and it's nothing. And I shoot that thing down too, and they fucking quit. And we just agree to disagree, and they can go, but they know they just got fucking stomped.
Exactly. And another fun one that you can always throw at them is, oh, you want to quote Leviticus? Well, how about we quote the book of Leviathan, the book of Belial? Do you care to hear the Dark Lord's word? I always fuck them up with that. They're like, nope, I'll go. You rest in hellfire. And I'll be like, thank you. I mean, I'm just like, you're poor drummer. I feel for that guy because nobody rushed to his aid. He smashed underneath this large wooden crucifix. And the rest of them are just like, well, we're going to take a moment and yeah, we'll be right back. I mean, what in the utter fuck? That was just, I mean, humanity at its best, If it was a TV show, people would be like rushing all over the place trying to help somebody out. They didn't even try to help him. So where was the saving of that soul? I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Killy says non-servium. Yup. We could go on and on about that all day. Literally. Which kind of brings us to our next trip here on the eve of All Snakes Day. Although the rest of America refers to it as St. Patrick's Day. So, to all of my heathen brothers and sisters, have a blessed All Snakes Day tomorrow, and drink for to our brothers and sisters that were slaughtered by this holy man who just had to stamp the heathen out. That's right. It kills me. I see all these people, all day long, coming in and out of the liquor store. And the whole time I'm just like fuming inside. I am burning. I am like, I just want to, take a sledgehammer. But it's like, let them have their ignorance. Let them, celebrate have their little day. Because, the ones that survived, we salute you. And if anyone has a drink in their hand, let us salute them in epic fashion. Because it kills me that this holiday is still celebrated to this day, and consider it to be a great and time of merriment. And I think back to all the great pagan peoples. Oops, I accidentally hit my thing. That suffered at the hand of this saint. It's like, do you know the real story? No, you probably don't. You just think if you're Irish, it's like, let's get fucking pissed. That's great. But let's not forget about that. Oh, that's That's hilarious. Oh, yes, absolutely. Cody says, fuck those saints. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And Mousepunk says, I'm runk early. And you deserve it. Everybody deserves it after this atrocious week of fuckery. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with having a best friend in Ireland. It's just this particular, religioso thing that is celebrated every year. People don't know or don't realize who suffered at the hands of that, and we won't forget it. Mousepunk said he and I just got down on some Elden Ring co-op. Hey, all right. That's a fantastic game. Very, very cool. Oh, she goes, oh, he is an anti-God straight up. Okay, so he probably doesn't celebrate what everyone else does as well. So, ay. So just wanted to bring that up since we're on the eve of all that craziness. And I'm not looking forward to that. Everybody drunk on green beer and yeah. So my question is, are they going to fill the pews in the morning? Probably not.
It's one of the dumbest holidays. I've never given two shats about it.
And I never did either. And it's so funny because people over time, especially throughout my adult life, have looked at that as like a day of luck. You're lucky if you have a shamrock. That's great. That's fine. McDonald's with their shamrock shakes. Good for you. Ew, first and foremost, because it's nasty. I don't like it. It's a cultural phenomenon in this country. And I'm sure it's twice as big in Ireland as well. So, but you're celebrating a murderer, ignorance at its best. Stamp out the heathen. We have come back in full force. Was it worth it? All right. So that's our little piece of blasphemy there for the evening. So let's move on to something that this just bothers me. I don't know if it's bothered anyone else. I know not everyone is a fan of Marilyn Manson, but the guy's gone through some shit and he is now trying to resurface and make a comeback. So naturally, when this was announced, the world went insane. Now, there are several things here that just absolutely bother me. So Marilyn Manson announced his first tour since 2019. That's how long he's been out of the game. Supporting, there's the first problem, 5 Finger Death Crunch or Death Crunchies, Death Punchies, whatever you want to call these assholes that I cannot stand. I still don't understand why anyone would want to go support 5 Finger Death Punch. Can't stand them. I think they suck. They're famous due to the fact that they did a few good covers. I'm sorry. Marilyn Manson, who has had a huge career in metal, a story career, if you will, one of the best shock rockers of, let's say, the late 90s, 2000s, and he comes back, but he's supporting 5 Finger Death Punch. So let's get some reactions on this.
Well, talk about a tour that should be touring all of the state fairgrounds this fall. Like that coupling has Carney written all over it.
Well, for starters, Manson has undergone a transformation. if you have seen him lately, he has dropped all the weight. He's basically kind of like back to his thinner structure when he first began, back in his glory days, as I like to call it, because he hasn't been able to like top the Antichrist era. I'm sorry. He just hasn't been able to. But I think that he's been absolutely, according to very, very many sources, he has not been on the drinking or the drug binges. So we're getting a sober Manson. So that means, his voice has probably gotten better. Now, I haven't really heard anything from his new album that's coming out. I don't know if anybody else has, but I don't think anything's been officially put out there. So what are your thoughts on why do you think he took this tour?
Because he knows a lot of people will be there. And just like the Rob Zombie crowd is very, very similar to the Five Finger Punch crowd.
Really? In what respects?
Same type of people. It's not like Rob Zombie attracts that type. Like I saw them in 2019. I saw him on that tour. And by the way, he needs to do something different with his hair. That hair's got to go. Just grow it out again.
Looks like a bird's nest or something.
Yeah. He was so fucking for Antichrist. He was so fucking metal for that. And his white eyes.
Oh, you're talking about Manson. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Rob Zombie. I'm sorry.
No. No, Zombie always looks pretty cool, but just the type of people that go are not the same type of people that go to black metal shows and death metal shows. It's a different type on the whole that go see that. It's not going to be exactly the same crowd that's going to go see Mastodon. Although Mastodon's a little bit closer to that. It's with the last, 4 or 5 albums.
Well, the crowd that goes and sees Five Finger Death Fuck tend to be ignorant people, shitty people, people that are like, ooh, it was played on the radio, so I must love it. These are not the goth followers that were so big on Marilyn Manson. So I think the pairing is absolutely stupid. If he was going to make a comeback, he should make it with somebody that literally makes sense, that he could actually cross over with, which is why I think, the old Twins of Evil tour of Marilyn and Rob Zombie always worked because their crowds were similar. Let's see. We definitely have some comments out here. I can handle Slaughter to Prevail, but obviously what the fuck. So yeah, this tour makes no sense. And she goes, I love that they used a big old bloated drunk ass version of him for this flyer pre-Ozempic Manson. Yes, absolutely. Why would they do that? He doesn't look like this anymore. He is skinny mini. I'm back to my high school weight version of Marilyn Manson. But then again, that's what happens when you drop the booze completely, if it has blown you up. You know what I mean? Somebody who has a legit alcohol problem will blow up. And that's what indefinitely happened to him, as well as overeating. A lot of people forget that he was in such a depressive state when his father passed that eating was kind of like a comfort. So he packed on a lot, but then again, when you're Marilyn Manson, you can get your hands on just about any drug or alcohol that you want. Any given moment, you put those two things together, that's what's going to happen. Mousebong says he took this tour because nu metal had made a huge comeback thanks to TikTok. Oh, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. He'd be foolish not to go for it right now. I do have to agree. Social media has suddenly blown up the crappy, shitty nu metal bands into this everyone has to go do this. It's almost like a nostalgia type thing. You know, Motley Crue touring for the 50th time, or Kiss wanting to keep rocking after they die and are irrelevant as fuck. So I could see that. He might be looking at it as a let's cash in kind of thing. But was Manson part of the nu metal movement? No, he was not. Not really. It was spookier. Nu metal wasn't about spooky, everybody. Look at the bands. He didn't fit with any of them. Like when I saw the Danzig 4 tour, he was on it as an opening act, and so was Korn. The two of them together should not have been on the same stage. Manson and Danzig, absolutely. Why? Because they were dark as fuck. The other stuff was a little bit more hippity hoppity, you know. I know you're saying that, Mouse Bong, but damn. How could you lump Manson into the nu metal genre? No fucking way. We got Biscuit out of that fucking shit. Limp fucking Biscuit. Limp Dick Biscuit. How could Manson be put in the nu metal genre? I don't think that. He's goth shock metal. That's what that was.
Here, all I have to say, like, I believe for Antichrist Superstar, he was different to me.
Yeah.
The songs are extremely simple, like most nu metal is. Very easy to play. You don't have guitar wankery. You don't have complex things going on. It's simple like that. Nu metal fucking people ate Marilyn Manson up. They love him. And one of the fucking reasons why is that fucking cheesy ass song, Sweet Dreams, that he covered. They fucking
a goth song from the 80s.
Yeah, but he did it his way, and it's just they fucking love that stuff.
Well, sure.
Like that's
his influences were clear.
That's the type of people that are drawn towards Marilyn Manson. It's the nu metal people and butt rock people too. They think they're being a little daring because after Antichrist Superstar, he was a different person. He never ever returned to that, and he was at his best. And I have zero interest in Marilyn Manson until he goes back to that darkness, because it was just cheesy and kind of carny to me after that. And I really like his intellect. I love his interviews. He's a
very intelligent guy.
He's a great advocate for blasphemy. He's a great advocate for challenging bullshit from politicians and shit like that. Like, I really do like him, but I didn't like his image or his music after Antichrist Superstar.
Absolutely. And the fact that, you know, he suckled his way at the teat of Trent Reznor because Nine Inch Nails was like the goth thing. Gothic industrial was a very, very up and coming thing because of that. So, and he was a product of that. Although he says, oh, we fought so hard to get out from underneath of him. Well, if that was true, then why did he stick around him so long? You know what I mean? And then it just so happened that he was spookier, moodier, darker, very satanic in many ways, that he surpassed Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails all the way. It was like, who the fuck's Nine Inch Nails anymore? Nobody gave a shit. It was like Marilyn Manson was like this big fucking cult phenomenon. How many nu metal bands can you say did that? None of them. Now, except for Korn. Korn has always had a loyal following and always will, because they're a no bullshit kind of band. But some of those fly-by-night groups, nobody gives a shit about them. So I get it. And I can agree with you that, yeah, he would jump on that because it was part of his era. You know what I mean? And, I'm not trying to trifle with anyone's beliefs. Everybody has their own opinion, and I respect that. But, so many interviews that I have heard him give over, let's say, the last 20 years, 20 plus years, he always cited the 80s was his biggest influences. Alice Cooper, obviously. And he even goes as far back as Ziggy Stardust, which was, David Bowie's most, I would say prolific kind of, concept as an entity. So, that's where you saw, okay, he did the Antichrist thing. He's like, maybe I'm tired of being picketed. So then he goes and says that he actually said this in an interview too. I was trying to be like Bowie. That was my Ziggy Stardust impersonation. Was it weird? Sure. Garnered a lot of attention? Absolutely. But I think a little bit, though, he was probably trying to take the pressure off of him. Because let's face it, I mean, people, when we say picketed him, death threats galore all over the United States. And then Columbine happened. So this man has been through so much. I just wish he could have had his first stepping out with a better band. That's all. Something that I think would have made more sense. That's all. That's all I was trying to say. So, let's see here. Yeah, absolutely. Oh shit. There are so many comments here. I gotta go back. My bad. Don't mind me. Some people said I was right. Everyone agrees with Beast as well. I'm just paraphrasing, of course. And like I said, definitely wasn't trying to trifle on your opinion, Mousespawn. It's just my own. It's how I see it. But I can also respect everyone else's viewing of it as well. I don't know. That little portion of metal history is just so weird. And that's why I hate labels. But Cody here says Redneck Butt Rock and the former Antichrist Superstar 2024 tour. I mean, for fuck's sake, motherfucking Creed is back and in effect. And like you said, playing the finest of city fairgrounds. Oh, shit. And, that's one of the great things. They always say that all of us metalheads are angry, horrible people, but yet we can have a difference of opinion and still love each other at the end of the day. What other segment of the population can say that? But that's really honestly all, I was feeling from it was like, dude, why would you? But then again, I also looked at it from this aspect too. How many bands have publicly said, I hate to tour with Marilyn Manson? Tons! Literally tons. Because he was so unpredictable. You could say what you want about Ozzy, but nobody ever bitched about touring with the guy. Unless it had to do with his wife. I mean, that was about it. So I was like, well, maybe this was one of the only bands that was actually willing to say, okay, how about you come on? We know you're licking some wounds here. Let's give you a stage again. And we'll see what happens from it. You know what I mean? Maybe this could make people that were starting to write him off go, wow, he really can still pull on a great show. I guess we'll see, Mousebox says, True Reaper, he may have taken this tour because they actually were down to tour with him. It's true. I swear. I've seen, read so many articles from other bands that were like, hated touring with the guy. Shit, Rob Zombie at one time hated it too. And then they started doing the Twins of Evil thing. So it was like, what the fuck? Thought you hated the guy. But then again, money is money at the end of the day. Let's see. What else do we have on the Fiesta? We're going to switch gears just a tad. This is something that is starting to become a bit of a buzz on the internet as well. And this is the final part of tonight's goddamn list. How could we forget the realm of horror? Well, this keeps popping up, and it's making a lot of us wonder if, in fact, this production company is going to be the one to bring this beloved franchise back to silver screen. There has not been a Friday the 13th film made since they did a quasi remake back in the early 2000s. And this comes from iHorror, so it's a credible source. They keep talking about Jason Blum from Blumhouse eyeing James Wan to make, I don't even know why it would be considered a remake at this point, of Friday the 13th. It has literally already been done. But then again, how many times has Halloween been remade also? Rob Zombie did his version, and then, of course, Blumhouse then made their version. It says, this is very exciting news if Blumhouse ever helms the rights, and that's going to be the tough part, to a Friday the 13th remake. In a recent interview, Jason Blum stated that James Wan and Atomic Monster are very passionate about it, and I think we would have them shepherd it for us. So let's get some opinions here. The Friday the 13th legacy, oh man. You know, it's one of those beloved franchises that just doesn't die, just like Jason himself. And it doesn't need to die, really. What I would like to see, me personally, I mean, there are so many directors that are making fan films that were continuations from some of the different eras of Friday the 13th and Jason that are just phenomenal. And they're on YouTube, a lot of them. You guys can watch them. I'm talking about first-rate shit. But they've made it to where they can't make physical copies and shit like that because of copyright. So I feel like the underground of indie filmmaking has really done it justice and kept the franchise going. What if Blumhouse gets their hands on this? What do you think?
They might do it all right. My worry is if somebody else gets a hold of it and they do the same thing that's happening to The Crow. They Americanize it, dumb it down, they play on trends, they try to make TikTokers happy about it.
Absolutely. And to answer your question there, Mouse Bong, there was actually only legit 12 Friday the 13th movies that actually went to the theater. But there are, I'd say, anywhere between 4 and 5 different indie film made Friday the 13th that are just awesome. That I almost kind of feel like, does this really need to be remade again? Because their script writing has taken the storylines into some very exciting directions. There was the Roseblood series, also Vengeance, Those couple of movies were just amazing. But the only thing that scares me is look at what they did when they made that third Halloween film and destroyed all credibility of the first two films they made. You know what I mean? What if they drop that ball? How sucky would that be? And who would they pull in to do the film? Are they going to maybe pluck Kane Hodder or CJ, who I can't remember the last name, Graham, CJ Graham, or, you know, any of the people that are still around that could be in the film? If they do that, I definitely think that would bring a lot of weight. And if they would like to, you know what I mean? So it seems like everybody out here is kind of like, that would be really kind of a cool thing. Cody says, I had the same thought as Beast. What if they fuck it without lube? Ouch. There would be a lot of tearing involved, a lot of stretching. Now, I agree with Mousebong 1,000% on this. Abandon all lore and plot and give it something fresh. Let's do that. Like I said, a new direction, I think, would make this franchise stand out, come back with two brass fucking balls and say, we in this bitch and we own it. You're going to love it. Come into our world. If you fuck it up with too much of what was already done, I think that would be a terrible thing. We would not be able to bring Jason into the here and now if we're constantly going backwards. So why call it a remake at all? Because, you know, the first Halloween film that Blumhouse did was completely here and now and didn't really grab a lot of what was a long time ago. You know what I mean? It was more like a, here we are 40 years later, nothing happened between there. You know what I mean? And it was so much more exciting. Shit. I love you, Paul. Paul says, ouch, dry dick. I love it. Achilles says, my best Halloween film is from Rob Zombie 2007. It was good. Sure, absolutely. But I also think Blumhouse did a really good job for the first two films that they made. So, you know, I don't know. But if they do it and fuck it up, it could really hurt their credibility, in my opinion. Oh my gods. So Mousebong says, oh, I thought he meant docking. I'm way too dirty for this. See, the horniness never goes away with this woman. But man, we'll have to see. Like I said, we started off the show with a little bit of horror and not good horror, because obviously what they're doing with The Crow is not gonna appease anybody. That I think. Does it usher, you know, a lot of, I see the argument on the other side as well. They're bringing in young people of today to check out the lore of The Crow or the legacy of The Crow. But I also have to say this too. You're telling me they didn't grow up with parents that showed them the original? You know? So it's very topsy-turvy. So if in fact they do secure the rights to do Friday the 13th, my hat's off to them. But I'm going to be on pins and needles till I see the whole goddamn thing. To be perfectly honest. Because I'm going to be like, anxiety, no. Or this could be super fucking good. We shall see. Man, it has been an absolute blast hanging out with y'all tonight. Thank you, as always, Morgrot Universe, for choosing us, two twisted motherfuckers, on Saturday nights to kick your party off right and in the juiciest, tastiest of ways, and very, odd as well. As always, your comments are so awesome. We love you. And we'll be back, I think, in a couple weeks to do another one.
Mhm.
So we'll be bringing twice the blasphemy, twice the craziness, and I'm guaranteed to have a bunch of gut busters to you. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Definitely check us out on Monday for Tracks of the Damned, as we are going to be giving our synopsis and review of the new Ultimus record. And if you guys want to get a little bit of insight from it, myself and the head of Morgrot Entertainment, John Sorrell, interviewed the lead vocalist and former vocalist of Morbid Angel, and his name just fell out of my head.
David
Oh
Vincent.
my goodness, it's been too long of a day. What's his name?
David Vincent.
Thank you, David Vincent. We did a fantastic interview with him, which was way too early in the day, but still, it was a fantastic interview to get a little bit of insight to Ultimus if you're not too familiar with them. So, real quick, we got some comments here. I want to make sure. Achilles says, guys, oh, shoot. I have to go to sleep. I live in Scotland, and the time here is 2:30 a.m. I always try to stay awake as long as I can when I see you're live on YouTube. Well, thank you, and we totally fucking appreciate you.
Achilles,
And a big hail Satan to you as well, my brother. Absolutely.
I have been to Scotland 2 times, and I love Scotland. I've been to Kemnay, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and I've been rock climbing about 2 hours.
I'm so jelly right now.
I've been rock climbing about 2 hours north of Glasgow, and it was fucking cold and wet. And my first sergeant, I was the medic, and he was like, "Hey, Applegate, go over there and check out that wall right there." And he knew I was walking into a fucking peat bog, and so
no,
nobody else followed me. And I was like, "Why isn't anybody following me?" And I just kept on walking, and all of a sudden, and it stunk, and I stank. They had to smell me in the van though, because there were like thousands of years of dead, decaying, plants and stuff down, and it was black. And then I had to. It was like quicksand. I had to
oh my goodness.
Thing. And then they have these little midgies, these little fucking biting flies that are everywhere up north, and those things really like the smell of that decaying plant in me. So I enjoyed that even more. But I love Scotland. Great place.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
And when the sun comes out there, it's so fucking beautiful. So green.
And yeah, absolutely. And to answer your question, Mousebong, yes, we had an interview with David Vincent, which you can go to Reapers Underground, Black Flame Entertainment, or Morgrot Entertainment to catch the replay of that interview. We did that, I want to say, about 3 weeks ago. I want to say for sure. It's on our YouTube as well. So wherever you get, our videos, it's cataloged and sitting right there for you. So go check it out. It was a fantastic interview. Honestly, David is just, oh man, awesome guy, intelligent as fuck, and just a wealth of knowledge. It's a great insight to what Ultimus does. So make sure you tune in for that. And as you are either laying it down, which I doubt it because it's Satanic Saturday, continuing the party, make sure that you throw on your favorite metal album to party with. Cap it off with a little bit of horror and apparently some sleaziness at the end of that, and make it a fantastic evening. And until next time, always stay heavy.